Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just that some add-ons that are given, you
Mm.
add.
Okay. So I'm thinking that the stream has started on YouTube. Mm, yeah, okay. So now, thank you very much, Peter. So now let's continue. I was saying that in PHP, in programming languages, okay, I'll put a paragraph here. In programming languages, an array is a special data type that stores a collection of values that, so allow me do whatever, allow me word wrap. Yes, so that's what an array is. And a good example is we've been doing PHP, and if we say name equals to David, we were storing one name, okay? But we may want to store um, names, you know. Now, if we want to store names in one variable, whereby the variable is this, let me hope, guys, if you have any eye problem and you need me to increase or to zoom in, please let me know and I will go ahead and zoom in. But otherwise, I will assume that everyone is okay. So if we have like, if we want to store like many names in one variable like this, we can use an array, and there are two ways of creating arrays in PHP. One of them is using the array function. The other one is using, I'll say here, names 2 equals to square brackets. So these are the two ways of creating PHP arrays. You know, you can use this square bracket or the array. All right. So each value in an array is stored with an associated key, which can be an integer or a string. The key is used to access the value similar to an index in an array. The values in an array can be of any data type, including other arrays. So when I say that, I mean that if I have names here, I can put David, I can put Fanny, I can put Derek, I can put Peter, okay, something like that. So you see that we have many names all stored on one variable, and the same way we've done it here is the same way we do it here. We just put the values there, you see. So this one is a short format as compared to this, and you can use whichever you want. So when they say that each value is stored at a certain key, what they mean is that the value here, let me see if I can present something, guys, for you who are not, uh, so allow me get something here. I'll call it, no, there's something called a whiteboard. Let me see if you can see it. Where is it even? Mm. Uh, if anyone knows where I can find a whiteboard, you let me know. Mm. I can see slide, but slide, any slide
I think you
control.
can go to
Mm.
the one for Zoom.
Yeah.
It's just below the thingy where the panel is for participants, chat, share screen,
Yeah, I
recording. I don't
can.
know if you're recording though, and then also
No, I'm
whiteboard.
not. I'm not recording, but I don't see whiteboard. So it's okay. Let me just go to slides. Slides. Oh. That is, I'll create a new slide here. Call it blank, and then yes. So arrays explained. So I'll just get something over here. I'll remove all of these. So imagine that you have a lot of boxes. So one of the boxes, this is the big box. Okay. I think we can give it. Oh no, not that. Just excuse me. So I'll go here and get this. So assuming you have a box, and that's how our box is looking like. And this box is maybe gonna be what? A cabinet. Okay. Maybe it's gonna be a cabinet. So I'll put a name here. Cabinet. Okay. And in the cabinet, we're gonna put small boxes. So we shall get the boxes and put them in our cabinet. So this box is that color. We paste another box and, oh, just a moment, guys, copy and paste. So we have another box. Maybe this one is, which color can I use? Maybe this. Can also paste that. So, and can maybe give it that. So these are many boxes in one bigger box. Okay. So this box is called cabinet, but for programming, we can call it boxes. Then we can call this one box A, box B, and the box C. Okay. So what happens is that if a cabinet has a shelves, each shelf will have a position in there. Okay. That means internet source, I had to find a charger. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I'm saying that if the cabinet had shelves in it, and we put each shelf, we put a box, that shelf would have a number. So if we were sending, or a position, if we were sending a child to pick the pink box, or someone to pick the pink box, maybe they don't know the color. So what we would do, we can tell them, go to shelf number so and so. So arrays work that way. So assuming boxes was an array, okay, assuming shelves was an array, then this box, let me try to draw up some lines here. Excuse me for a moment, and I draw the line. So assuming I have that line, I'll give it a white color, and I'll increase I'll increase the thickness, copy it, and I paste, and then come over. So just a moment, I want to create clarity. I'm not a good artist. I'm just trying to. Yes. So you see each green in the boxes, each green, we are taking it as a shelf. Each green is a shelf. So we can now add positions to the shelf, and we can say that we have position in the real world. The way you'd have the position is that you'd have this as number 1 in the real world. Just okay, yeah, you'd have that as number 1. Then we would have another one. Huh? Oh, every time okay, sorry, I got it. So we would have this one as number 2, and then we would have the other one as number 3. Yeah. So that's the ideal world, okay? That's how we number these shelves in the ideal world. So, but what happens is that in the let me get something here and say real world position numbering. Yes, so probably I would say something like this. This is the actual or the real world position numbering. Now, on the side here, on the right, we are gonna have the numbering that is for the numbering that's for the array. So the array, the numbering, the first row or column will be 0. The second one will be 1. The third will be 2, and they will continue like that. Oh. And they will continue like that. So this is the array numbering. And so it's good to know that this box is at position 0, and the pink box or box B is at position 1, and the yellow is at position 2. That's how this works, okay? That's how this works. And what happens is that if we want to access the pink box, we tell someone, go on the boxes shelf on position 1 and pick for us something that is there. You know, that's how we do it. And it will do the similar thing in PHP or in other programming languages. We would just do it the way you saw this, whereby David is at position 0, Fen is at position 1, Derek is at position 2, Peter is at position 3. The same thing happens here, but you've heard that in the real world, if we are telling someone to pick a box, we tell them go to the boxes shelf and pick box A, or pick box B, or pick box C. So the same way we do it is, so what would happen is that to pick like the pink box, let me add some whatever, to pick the pink box, you may tell someone that go see the boxes and pick out, not the box shelves, the box shelves, and pick out the item at position 2. That's how you'd tell someone in the real world. So that would be the real world scenario, okay, whereby, yeah, let me just, if you want the pink box, okay. But now if you want to pick using the programming way, you would say for the programming way, we would say you may tell, no, you will tell the script or code to pick the item at index or position 1, which is totally different from, if you compare the two statements, this is different. So having explained that, we can now go and illustrate it in PHP. And we can say that if we want, for example, if we want to pick Derek, what can we do now? If we wanted to pick Derek from here, from any of the arrays, what would we do? Just don't say the code, just say the words, just use natural language. Okay, what would we do? Nobody relates. Okay.
Let me
I think
try.
we shall
Okay.
use the index 2.
The index 2. So
Let me
say.
try.
That is the third position.
Okay. Thank you, David. Someone says that she wants to try. Go ahead and try.
Yes, said.
Hmm? What?
Yes, said it.
Could you say it with all the necessary words?
Okay. If we want to pick Derek, would go and check the array and pick the position of Derek.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit calming. So we would specify the array from which we are picking the item, and then we would specify the position or index of the item. Okay, this is how we would do it probably, and that would mean that PHP echo names, then you put the square bracket. Okay, so I can say the syntax is place open brackets index. Okay. Oh no, is array then index. That is probably the format. So that means if it's array, then the index, then that means that the array is names, then the index is, did you set to? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So let us see. Now we can go to the browser for the moment of truth and just reload. And yes, that's it. It has That's it. It has showed us Derek out of the many who are, out of the many where there is David, Fanny, Derek, Peter, you know. So that's how we'll do it. I remember we looked at arrays sometimes back, but we did not look at them in the detail we might look at them today. So what we'll do is, if we want to display all items, so if we want to display all items in the array, we would basically have to use a loop. So if you remember last time, we used the loop, we saw, we looked at many loops. We looked at the do while, we looked at the while, we looked at the for, and we did not look at one loop, which was the for each. So we are going to use the for loop, okay? And then to display these items, then we shall use the for each loop. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So what we would do, we would say for, who remembers the format of the for? Hmm? No one?
David Anyuru.
Are you sure?
Let me try.
Mhm. Yeah, explain, remind us the for loop syntax.
The for loop syntax goes as follows. For, you have opened the brackets, we put the initialization.
Okay,
Then
the initialization, okay.
terminate, condition, terminate, then the increment or decrement.
Yeah, that's it. So, or increment. So now what this is the format, and then we have
The statement.
the statement, the block of code we want to loop. Okay, that's how it is. So we are going to replace this with the initialization, and the initialization can be like, let me say I equals to 0. The reason it's called initialization is because we create a variable and then we assign to it. So what we've done, we've declared and assigned, and collectively they are called initialization. Okay. Then the condition is gonna be, if I, now, what do you think we should put here? If I is less than what? Hello? Am I alone?
No.
Yeah.
4, 3.
If I is what? Less than 4 or 3, yeah? Okay. Which one?
4.
Okay, then here, what should I put in the decrement or increment?
I plus plus.
I plus plus. Okay. All right. Now, what we are going to do is to, after reaching there, is to echo. But remember what we said around here, that the syntax is array, then the index. So now the index we are going to have is gonna be determined by the I, and the array we are picking from, we are going to pick from array 2, names 2. So names 2, and then we are going to put a square, and then because the index is going to be determined by the I, we are going to put the I in the square brackets, okay, like that. And we want these names to be on a new line, so we can put a comma here, and then we put a new line character there, and then put a termination semicolon, then close the PHP to have valid PHP and HTML working together. So what is going to happen is that at the first time, the for loop is going to find the initial value of I as 0, and it will compare that 0 to 4, and it will find that the 0 is less than 4. Then it will come over here and put a 0 and show us David. Then it will increment the I to 1. Then it will compare whether I is less than 4, and indeed I is less than 4. Then it will come and output, it will put 1 here. So what will be output is Fanny. Then it will increment the I again to 2, like that, until when all the items are done. Let's see that. See, so yeah, they are coming over here, they are displaying properly, and they are being displayed, imagine, by just two lines of code, you know, and it is something that may have looked out of, you know, it might look like rocket science, but it's not, as long as you know that when you are accessing an item of the array, you have to use the index. So, but I'm just wondering, the way we've done, excuse me, let me check a chat. Someone is, why are they bold? They are bold because of mistakes here. The line number 20, I opened with H2, but I closed it with a paragraph. So that was a mistake, okay? So the H2 was taken not to have been completed. That was a terrible mistake, okay? And thank you for the question. So if I refresh, they won't be bold. You see that, David? All right, thank you for asking. Now, if I go, now I'm just wondering if I add Sharon here, what will happen? Because we've put 4 here, okay? So what will happen is that the for loop has reached the limit, which is less than 4, and that limit is 3. So now what would we do? You know, what we would do is that, let's go, let me go here and say, access, access what? Access array items without knowing the size of the array. Okay. So imagine that we don't know the size of the array. This happens a lot if we store these things in the database. If we store the things in the database, that means that we shall never know how many items are there because there are many people who are adding items to the database. So what shall we do in this case? So in this case, what we do, we have to we have to find a way of knowing the size of the array or of knowing how many items are in this array. And the PHP gives us two things, okay? They are inbuilt functions, okay? And which are the PHP inbuilt functions, i.e. Size of and count. Okay. So when we use functions, we can get to know how big is a particular array. So for example, I'm going to change this one from names2 to names. Okay. And then I'll copy all this code, take it over here, down, and then bring back the names2 so that we can really get to know this. So both of them, if I go to the browser, both of them display the same items. This one displays David up to Peter, and this one also displays David up to Peter. But we want to be able to see or to get Sharon, and we are going to utilize these, the size of function or the count function. Let's start with the count function. So with the count function, we can say number, no, total, sorry, we shall say total names is equal to count this, and you can see it as brackets, and those brackets mean something. So count will take in the names 2, okay, names 2 in those circle brackets. So it will count the things in this array, and then it will store the value here. So if it counts, it will find that these are 5 items. Then we can come and say less than total names. You see? Less than total names. Then we can go ahead and check the browser, and Sharon is here. So putting a number like explicitly, like here, gives us one challenge, that whenever the items in the array change, we are doomed. Okay, because we have to go back to the code, and it's a bad practice to go back to the code just to know what things, just to be sure, you know, it's a bad practice. The other thing is that we may want to to show the last item of the array, you know, but since the items have come from a certain database or storage, we don't know how many items are there. So we cannot say that we cannot say that 4 minus 1, because we don't know if those items are 4. Okay, because you've seen that 2 got us the third item, 0 would get us the first item, but then it would be hard for us to know the last item. And someone who has gotten my explanations so far can be in a better position to tell us what we can use to pick the last item. Hello?
I beg your pardon, coach. The internet that was acting up this side, so
Oh,
I
sorry about
linked it.
that. Sorry about that. The question was, how would we pick the last item from the array? How would we show it?
Oh, the last item. We can get the length of the array, and then we subtract 1.
And we subtract 1. But
Yes,
what's
and
the
then
length in this case?
in that case, uh, I think it is okay. I have different things in mind. I have David, Fanny, Derek, Peter, and then Sharon. The length is 5.
The length is 5.
Yes.
Okay. So we get 5 minus 1.
Yes, 5 minus 1, and supply it
Okay.
as the index when we are indexing the array.
Okay, thank you. Now, what if we don't know that the length is 5?
We shall use the inbuilt function. Yes.
Okay. The inbuilt function to do what?
Like maybe to get the count, and then we subtract it by 1. We subtract 1 and then supply it as what? As the index.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's try to implement that. So let's see. Guys, have you understood what David has just said? Oh, Sharon is suggesting something called the end function. Okay. So let's try that. Sharon, how does the end function work?
Yes.
How does the end function work?
Echo and open brackets the name of the array.
Okay. Like that. So this one would give us the last item from the array.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see, and wow, perfect, it works. So there's that, and there is also David's, David's idea, which is to do this, we would say PHP, then names, and then we would get total minus 1. That would also give us the last, okay? Only that I've put names. Let me put names too, so that we get something similar. And let me break here. Have I reloaded?
You didn't echo.
Oh, I did not. I didn't echo, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, so for both, we get the same value. And if you are specific that you want the last item, you can use this. If you are not specific, because you may want an item of like, let me say, you might want the second last item and you do -2. You see that? So that really helps you as well. So -2 would give us Peter. Yeah, some bit of mathematics, which is very little. It's all about understanding that to access items from the array, you just need to know the position of that array. That's all. Then the other thing we might want to do is to actually sort the array. Like we don't know if David and Fanny, if they are in the what? How do you call them? Alphabetically in
Alphabetical order.
ascending, in alphabetic order. So what we may do, we may want to sort them. And usually this happens because when you store information and you want to access it, especially if you ever, do we have negative indexing? Yes, I think negative indexing is also there. Yes, it should be there, David. The negative indexing, like I would remove, the total, and we see. Warning, undefined array, so it's not there. Thank you for the question, and we've tested it. David, does that answer you?
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome. You are totally welcome. So let's go to whatever. Let's go to sorting, and we see. So the sorting we can use, this is, what is it called? Arranging items in the array. So we shall use the sort function. That's also an inbuilt function. So we would say PHP do what? We can say our sorted names is equal to sort, and then names what? Names 2. So as simple as that. Now, we can start to loop and see if these have really been, excuse me. Actually, for this one, let's use the for each. When you are using the for each, you don't need to use these. The for each, you just specify the array. So sorted names as, then you write the keyword as, then you pick out the item. So I would call the item name, okay? And then I would open here and echo name. So when you run this for each, it does its magic, but you just have to understand its syntax. That in the first, at the left, it has the name of the array. Then in the middle, it has the word as. Then at the right, it has the item from these items. So whatever it does behind the scenes, it knows. Then we can echo, and as we echo, we add the space. So we separate these with a space. They are not going to break. They are going to be on the same line. We save, and then we can check over here. For each argument must be type of array. object. Oh, wait a moment. What did I do? Sorted in names. What did I enter here? Sorted in names. Oh. Looks like when I sort things, I shouldn't, excuse me guys for a minute. All right, let's go. So what we can put in an array. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had put myself on a low. Oh. All right. So I was saying that the other thing we did before, the sort in PHP doesn't work that way because we had put sorted. We had said sorted names, right? Like that. So it looks like it cannot. Uh, it looks like it cannot store things. It cannot sort the array and then return it. Okay. So what it does, or even, yeah, but let me try to do something like this. Let me try to do dump because I just want to be sure that indeed it doesn't return, because I don't find it like clean code doing it that way. But let's see, let me first remove all of this and we check by refreshing. Unquote error, call to undefined function. Oh, what spelling did I use? For dump. So it's giving me Boolean true. So the sort has worked, but it does not return anything. So what I can do, it just returns a true or false. So what I can do now is to dump the names that have been sorted and we see if they have indeed been sorted. So I'll just comment out this line and save. Yeah, so, okay, let me try to organize it, guys, a bit. How will I organize it? I'll just write a pre-tag here and a closing pre-tag here. That's how PHP, that's how to organize your array for view. So it says Fanny, David, Fanny. This is not sorting at all. So probably I'm using it wrongly. What is the flags? Let's see, sorting flags. Compare items. Normally the details are described. No, but now array returns true. I want to see if I don't specify the flags. This flag sort regular. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm just wondering why it's not sorting the array. I put in, let me look for an example on W3 schools. Sort and this one sort. So if I say try, so when you sort, you can, let me see what they say. The following example sorts the elements of the cars array in ascending alphabetical order. But then the elements in an array can be sorted in alphabetical or numerical order, descending or ascending. But then I need to see a clear explanation. I need to see a clear explanation so that I can give you an explanation which makes sense. In place of sorts array in place by values in ascending order. So note, if two members compare as equal, they retain their original order. Prior to PHP 8.0, their relative order in the sorted array was undefined. Note, this function assigns new keys to the elements in the array. It will remove any existing keys that may be assigned rather than just reordering the keys. Resets array's internal pointer to the first element. So it is kind of, let's see how I put it, David Fenderican. All right, now what we are going to do is, oh, wait, I was struggling before sorting. Oh my goodness. Oh no. So I just need to put this over here. And I think now they are going to be sorted. So it was my mistake. Yeah, now it has sorted them. Perfect. You can see that David in alphabetical order comes earlier than Derek because after D on Derek there is an E, and an E comes later than the A. You can see after that in alphabetical order you go to F, then of course comes earlier than P comes earlier than S. So okay, so the sorting works. The only challenge it has, in my own opinion, is that it changes the original order of the array. And that may make things a little bit difficult for you to understand. And because I wish it was I wish it was just sorting, then it gives me a new copy of the array. But unfortunately, it's not doing that. And we don't want to go into very difficult code of sorting by ourselves. Okay. The other thing is that you can sort in descending order by using the flags they have spoken about here. There is natural, where they are here. There's sort regular, which does it in ascending order. Then there's sort numeric, compare items numerically, and sort string, compare items as strings. That's the one which has been happening. Compare items as strings using natural ordering. They also have another function called natural sort, which does what you would have, which would do the same thing sort does if you pass it the natural flag. All right. So let's just test out one, and we see. So I'll do what? Which one can I try? I can try the numeric, and we see if it works since these are strings. So I can try sort. I just write it, sort numeric. But remember, there are also other functions like arrow sort and things like that that reverse things. So let's see how this sort works. What you see what it's giving us. So it has just put them back because the way they are, because these are not numbers, and it cannot sort them. But let's see, let's try if there were numbers. Let's try to create here an array of edges. And we say that this array is gonna contain 23, 21, 12, 100, 45. So things like that which are not in order. Then let's try to sort them using, and we say edges, then we say sort numeric. Let's see if what this one will give us. So we shall dump them after the sorting. We shall dump the edges. And we see, we also need to put this in pre-tags for it to appear readable on the screen. Pardon my spelling errors. So we're gonna do that. And we say, so you see, with the numbers, it has ordered them. It has sorted them. So you cannot use the sort numeric if the values of the array are not numeric. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So any questions so far? No question? All right. So we can also use the things that W3 Schools was suggesting, which were the, where was it? These ones over here. So I would like you, after this session, to go and let me share this link to you. I've shared it in the chat. Please take it. I would like you to go and do some reading on that and practice. You can practice with the exact examples they have, okay? And without, you don't have to think about other than on Monday, you send me the code you'd have written, all right? You send me the code you'd have written on Monday. And how are you going to send me that code? You are going to go to GitHub. So for those of you who don't have GitHub accounts, you need to sign up. It's free. Then you click over here at the right, close to your profile picture, and click gist. Then you write the whatever file name you want and the description. For example, you can say reverse you can say reverse sorting. Then you can call this function reverse sort.php. And you can put your PHP code here, you know. Then you have to click this arrow, not the green button, click this arrow and click create public gist, then click public gist. After that, you click this, you get this URL, copy it, and then paste it and send it to the WhatsApp group. That's it. So that's the exercise, the homework you have. You are going to read the sorting of arrays on the page that I've shared to you in the chat. Please take it. And for all of these, make sure you do what? You do exam, you test them out, and for whichever code you've used to test, please share it. You can create a number, unlimited number of gists. They won't stop you as long as you give them different names. And you can also put a description on them. Like, for example, my description here is reverse sorting in PHP. So update public gist, and that's it. So any question? If no question, please say the parting remarks and we go. We shall continue looking at arrays in the future videos or on Saturday. Thank you very much for attending. So if you don't have any remarks, I can close the session.